What's up everybody, it's Matthew behind the camera, and it's been a while since my last video published on this channel. So in this video I bring you the test on the Kingelon C1000, which is an entry-level Chinese smartphone with a very interesting characteristic, which is the fingerprint recognition. So before we begin, I have to tell you that the smartphone has a entry-level processor, which is the MediaTek 7582 with the clock speed of 1.3 giga. Plus it has 1 giga of RAM, 1 giga of ROM and 8 giga of RAM. And the size of screen is 5.5 inch, but the resolution is relatively low, which is 960 by 540. So very quickly, let's first go over the content in the box. So the first layer is surely the smartphone, so we already put it out. And now we have a flip cover. Well, I can't say much about the quality, but what can I say? It's one of the free gift of sorts. And we have a micro USB cable that's necessary. And also we have a charger. It's quite a big one. And continue, we have a, voila, this is the headphone with a remote control, but looks relatively cheap, frankly. And a supplementary battery, which is of 3200 milliampere. And lastly, we have the this is the label with the IMEI code on it, but I don't think this one has an IMEI code because this one is a engineering sample. Plus we have the manual, though I can't expect much from the language. It's always with broken English, frankly. So let's go to the next part, which is the smartphone. Okay, it's time to take a look at this big baby right here. And quite frankly, in terms of design, there's not much I can say about it because it has a very strong resemblance to the DG 2014, if you remember well. So right on the back, we have no inscription of logo, no inscription of the brand or whatsoever. It's very discreet, very low pro. And in terms of marksmanship and the quality, I can say this is up to the standard. There's no obvious fabrication default. Okay, so that's pretty good. So on this side we have the volume button, and on the opposite side we have also the power button. So the design is very classic, very ergonomic, though they didn't spend much time figuring out something rather original. So on the side, the front side, we have a screen of 5.5 inch, and also we have a webcam, a proximity sensor, plus a light sensor. And I'm pretty sure they have the LED notification. I'm going to take a photo about this one, and you might find the photo on the description right below. So right down here we have three buttons, pretty physical button for the Android operating system. So on the back we have on this side we have the speaker outlets, and we have the camera plus the flash and the fingerprint scanner. So talking about extension ports, right here we have only a 3.5 jack and also a micro USB port. So this is pretty limited, pretty basic though. Okay, down here we have only one outlet of a microphone. So now let's just open up the case and check out what's inside. So as you can see, we have a pretty big battery here, which is a battery of 3200 milliampere. And talking about the SIM card emplacement, it's a double SIM card emplacement. In fact, it is a combo of a single micro SIM plus a single standard SIM. And on top of the emplacement of the double SIM, we also have an emplacement for the micro SD card. So this is pretty standard issue. And I'm pretty sure that this smartphone is very easy to repair, since the and you can see all these pieces right here is very easy to get off. Sorry, it's been a while since I do a video in English, so my English needs to be brushed up to some extent. So down here we also have the outlet of the speaker, rather small one though. Okay, so now let's go to the dimension. Okay, let's talk about its dimension. So for length, it has a 153 millimeters, 154 I dare say. And for the width, okay, that's 78 millimeters. That's a ratio rather correct, as I can say. And for the thickness, let's see. Well, it's rather compact. It's less than 8.5 millimeters, so that's pretty correct. And also about the weight. Okay, it's 159 with the battery on. So in general, this one is a little bit heavier than I expected, but the size, the dimension is rather correct. Plus the feels on hand is rather not bad. Okay, now we are done with the physical aspect of the smartphone. Let's go down to the system. As you can see right here, the screen is locked and we will have to do a fingerprint scan to unlock it. So, quite frankly, you have to be a little bit more patient with this one because it's not that reactive, frankly. So you'll have to be a little bit more patient than you usually do with a check-in machine. So we are on the system, and the first impression with the screen is not bad at all. It's quite bright, and we have good contrast of colors and stuff. So it's pretty good on a affordable model. And in terms of reactivity, I should say it's up to the standards. Let's see how it fares in the widget interface. A little bit laggy, but it's up to the standards. It's acceptable. So let's check out its IMEI code. Nope, this one is an engineering sample, so we don't have that. And plus, we're gonna check out the compatible frequency. Alright, apart from the classic 4 bands for GSM, or 3G, we have 2000, 850 and 800. So in terms of compatibility with other operators outside China, I don't think there will be a big problem. But for French users, maybe, because there is no WCDMA 900. It's always their thing. It's always their specialty in France, frankly. So for the second SIM, we have also, it's always the classic 4 band, the GSM. So there's nothing quite special about it. Okay, now let's check out what's so special in the settings. Firstly, you can modify the components of the LED notification in terms of incoming text messages and incoming call. This is pretty neat. I hope that they have a strong enough, bright enough LED notification so that these functions can be useful. Alright, next, what's next? We have also the gesture censoring. For me, I don't see the interest of using this kind of functionality because it's too gadget. And also, we have the major selling point of this model, which is the finger scanner. And right here you can register your own fingerprints, but mind you, for every single fingerprint registered, you have to accompany by the fingerprint has to accompany by a alternative password. This is very thoughtful for them because you never know. Maybe someday the scanner won't work, and then you will have to unlock the phone with this 4-digit password. Okay, so that's pretty much everything, I guess. Okay, let's see what's. You also have the notification light. This one is also for modifying the components of the LED notifications. We'll see about that later. Maybe I will do another video on this one, but not on this video. I'm not planning on doing a super long text video, so you might get bored easily. So, what's next? I think it's time that we check out the score on benchmarks such as AnTuTu. Okay, in AnTuTu we have a score of 17,990, which is not bad at all for an entry-level model equipped with an entry-level MediaTek processor. Let's check out the details. Well, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see a little more clearly. So for multitask, we have a 3,000 something score, which is correct. Going down, we have the CPU and GPU with the score around 1,500. This is a correct score, but for the GPU, I don't trust that much the score for the 3D graphics, because you know, with this kind of MediaTek 7582, it's gotta suck in 3D Mark. So let's just leave it behind. But all in all, the score is up to the standards. There's nothing quite remarkable about it, but there was no major default whatsoever. So let's check out the device info. Right here, the brand is not correctly recognized. So this one is a engineering sample, that's acceptable. For the model, it's C1000, that's correct. For the version of Android, that's KitKat 4.4.2. CPU, GPU, we've been over this. Resolution 540p. And rear camera. Okay, you can stop lying about the rear camera. I'm sure there will be a huge percentage of your 8.3 megapixels are interpolated. So, why bother? Okay, this one is root. And also for the RAM, we have a, well, this is the correct number for 1 gig of RAM. And room, let's see, system, we have 1 gig. And for internal storage, okay, that's pretty much the right number for 8 gigabytes of RAM, pardon me. So, moving on. For the CPU, there's not much to see here. Then you have the GPU, Mali 400 MP, classic, low-cost model. And you have a density of pixels of 240 dpi. That's pretty neat on a model less than $120. That's not bad at all. Okay, front-facing camera. You can stop with these shenanigans. Frankly, I don't think it's gotta be 5 megapixels. It's a maximum 3 megapixels for me. I've seen a lot of your kind, frankly. So, okay. Android version, no problem. And canal, going all the way down. Okay, for the captors and sensors, I've been doing a lot of videos in French, so I might mixed up my English a little bit. Let's check out on Z device for the captors. No, sensors. I just did it again. Okay. Okay, Z device. While we are at it, let's begin with the accelerometer. Pardon. I'm always mixed up my English with my French. Okay. The accelerometers, it works. There doesn't seem to be a significant problem with it. So it passed, and we go to the compass. Let's rotate a bit and see how it goes. Well, the pointers work just fine. It doesn't change its direction radically. There's no anomaly detected, so bravo. Okay, going down. Let's see what's down there. Okay. Alright, there's something wrong with the screen. I think we just freeze a little bit, but whatever. It's fine. Line sensor. Alright, it works. Proximity sensor. Okay, it's functional. There's nothing to worry about. And unfortunately, we don't have the gravity sensor and the line acceleration or the rotation vector whatsoever. So this one is a pretty basic in terms of sensors. So talking about GPS, well, quite frankly, we did a test this morning, and the weather wasn't so good, it wasn't so cooperative. But I dare say, for most low-cost models nowadays available, GPS has always been problematic, and you will always have to be a little bit more diligent to do a little bit of software modification to correct this major default. So for me, the GPS is rather problematic. Okay, so much for the benchmark and that device. Let's go on with the video test. So since this is a 540p screen, I only have a HD video to show. I'm not gonna go over to a full HD. That will be not so smart, frankly. Okay, I can say it's up to the standards. The colors are correct, and we have a rather nice performance of the speakers, and also in terms of view angles, that's impeccable, I dare say. So let's do a little bit of scrolling to see how it, well, it's rather reactive. Not bad at all, frankly. Well, maybe it's capable for decoding full HD videos, but I don't think this would be necessary. So for the video test, it passed. Okay, let's talk about the camera. In my opinion, this is very, very basic stuff, frankly. First off, my first impression with the color rendering is not good at all. They always had this very bizarre tendency to render certain parts of the more brighter parts of the object in pink. This is unacceptable, frankly. But apart from this, the reactivity of the autofocus is acceptable. So all in all, this one is a very basic stuff. It's not. I don't expect people to take photos for aesthetic purposes with this so-called camera, so-called 8.3 megapixel camera. That would be a joke. Okay, so talking about the HDR, right here you have the photo that I took on outside, and I can say it's functional, but as you can see, color rendering, it's lifeless. So my conclusion would be this camera is rather basic, very basic stuff. It's there, it's doing its job, but don't expect it to be excellent. Alright, after the disastrous camera, let's go on with the test of gaming. And by gaming, I should say we can really forget about Nova Free or Real Racing Free on this one, because it's sure, 100% sure it's not going to handle it well. So I prepare another title which is significantly lighter than the Real Racing Free. Nonetheless, with remarkable graphics, which is the Riptide GT2. As you can see in many of my Teste video in French, I use this one. Alright, it's on. Let's see how it performs. Well, the gyro is just so frankly. I don't expect much from this one. Oh my god. I didn't move at the wrong time. But nonetheless, in terms of reactivity and fluidity, I don't see major problem. It's always been very smooth. By the way, how can they come up with a game with such small size with such remarkable graphics? I just don't understand. Frankly, many details are even better than titles like Real Racing Free, which has a size of, I don't know, 1 gig. Okay, anyway, I know I suck at racing games, but anyway, it's been fun. Plus, this phone is not so heavy if you just took it by 2 hands like this, so experience not bad at all. Alright, I'm gonna do the step. Right, I got hurt again. Okay, that's all for the gaming text. It passed for relatively light title, not the heavy titles like Nova Free. Okay, last thing to talk about would be the battery. As you can see right here, during non-active hour on this chart, the battery level says relatively stable. There is no dramatic drop in terms of battery charge, but during this time, which is during the test, well, it's invaluable. We've been doing a lot of things like decoding HD videos, playing games, and this and that, so it's gonna eat up much of its charge. But I should say that for a smartphone with 5.5-inch screen, a battery of 3200 capacity won't be sufficient. I don't think it's gonna be sufficient for people who like to use their smartphone all days for multimedia usages, such as surfing or watching HD videos, playing games. It's not sufficient. So I've been worrying about the battery temperature, but it seems that this worry was excessive, because as you can see right here, the battery temperature level has been manageable. There is no a spike of 90 degrees which goes up to 40s or 45. So this is acceptable. And for the voltage, there wasn't any anomaly, frankly. Okay. So in terms of performance, the battery is quite correct, but capacity, for me, is not enough. Okay, I think it's time for me to tell you what I think about this model. Frankly, in terms of performance, this one's quite the cliche, not to mention its design that has no originality. And frankly, I've seen countless of this kind of model doing HD gamings, HD videos, surfing and whatnot, all the usage in multimedia, and they can handle it very well, but you never know about the performance in the long term. That's what I'm telling you. So the biggest selling point of this product is its fingerprint scanner. But frankly, I don't think this one is quite practical, because you can't swipe your finger like this fast. You will have to be very smooth and patient, and there is just a very good chance that one swipe like this, it's not going to cut it. You have to be tried like 3 or 4 times. So I don't think this one is very practical. This is rather gadget. So I apologize that we didn't have functional Wi-Fi networks to test its Wi-Fi capacity. But if you want to know, I might as well upload a screenshot of Wi-Fi analyzer on the description right down below. Plus, for all the tests that I have done, all the benchmark I have run on this one, you might as well find all the screenshot of the results down on the description. So don't forget to like this video if you found this video informative, and stay tuned to more of our videos. See you next time.